Who took out the White Tiger? Well, let's talk about it. What's up, you guys? Welcome to Sector for Nerds. Today, we're here to chat about Daredevil Born Again, Episode 3. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. And make sure you guys are staying tuned every single week for my thoughts on each and every episode of the new Daredevil series. And so far, you guys, well, I don't think that this show has captured the same feeling that I got coming out of the original Marvel Netflix Daredevil series. I've actually still been enjoying this one. And when it comes to this episode, I really did enjoy it. This was all about a court case scene, right? And one thing that the original show did a great job with as well is these court cases and just how incredibly written and well thought out they are, unlike the ones from She-Hulk, where the creators of the show even said themselves that they had no idea how to write a court scene. So, the first part of this episode was them trying to get the witness to the courthouse to testify against the cops that ended up beat him up, right? I was watching this episode with my brother and a friend of ours, and I just remember okay, something's gonna go wrong here. He's not gonna end up testifying. And then sure enough, he didn't. And it just completely throws Matt off. Because he's like, crap, that was my ace up my sleeve and now it's gone. So that was just really well done. And then it becomes desperate times call for desperate measures. Matt ends up exposing who White Tiger is. After in the previous episode telling the court that, you can't reveal who this guy is. And honestly, part of me couldn't believe that Matt would do that to a fellow hero, or a fellow vigilante. But one of the cool things about it, though, is the fact that we then get to see all of these people come forward, the next day and talking about how great of a person the White Tiger is and how he saved, certain people's lives and stuff, right? But you just knew, okay, now that this guy is exposed, he is going to become a target, and he's going to, his family will probably become a target. That's just how these things work. And in one of these, court scenes as well, Matt's talking about all these different officers. And, one of the officers that he happened to mention is someone that I think Marvel fans might know quite well, and that's Officer Morales. I remember sitting there with my boys watching this episode. I was like, oh, guys, he just talked about Miles Morales' father. And it got me thinking, they're like, oh my gosh, I feel like that sets up for Miles Morales to somehow join the MCU at some point, right? Now, the reason why I was really excited for this is because I'm someone who's a massive fan of the Spider-Verse movies. And I cannot wait for the third movie, and I hate that it keeps getting postponed, and it's really making me worried. So the idea of just bringing some of these characters into this would be really cool. Obviously, it would not be the exact same people. There is a multiverse after all, right? So it wouldn't be those exact peoples. But to have a Lieutenant Morales there, or potentially a Captain Morales at some point, right? And then to have Miles in there. And I've said it before, but as much as I really don't care about the MCU right now, I'd love the idea of having this ground-based show or movie or whatever where you've got Spider-Man, you got Daredevil, you got Punisher, you got Fisk. Recently, I did watch through the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series, the animated one. I didn't watch it when it came out, but I just watched it maybe a week or two ago at the time of this recording. And I gotta say, you know what? I actually kind of liked it. Were there certain moments where I was like, I don't know about this, but for the most part, I thought it was a well thought out, well put together show. I actually enjoyed what they did with the character of Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, in that series. And in the end, they end up winning the case, which I was actually kind of surprised by. I kept sitting there the whole time. We all had bets sitting there, right? Okay, who do we think he's going to win? Do we think he's going to lose? My brother thought that it was going to be a win. I thought it was going to be an L, and our friend thought it was going to be an L. Turned out two of us were wrong. But in the end, what does it matter anyway? Because White Tiger ends up getting murdered. When we started talking about it, I'm like, okay, but Punisher wouldn't actually just kill someone like White Tiger like that, right? That just doesn't seem like the Punisher. The Punisher, especially if we're going based off of the Marvel Netflix series, I feel has a code in terms of the people that he takes out, right? Yeah, the dude's a murderer, but he only goes after select people. To go after someone like White Tiger just doesn't seem like him. Unless something has happened within the time between the show and this series that, changed who the Punisher is. But I don't think that's where we're going with this. So no, I don't think it was Punisher that killed the White Tiger. My guess is it was probably one of the officers, right, from before, or someone that was hired by Fisk or Vanessa to take out White Tiger, and then they're going to frame it on the Punisher and be like, see, and this is why vigilantes need to be taken out of this city. Oh, and then another quick thing that happened in this episode, too. Matt and Heather were on another date again. And they were even in Matt's apartment, it looked like. Basically, the gist of it was they talked about the trial. They talked a little bit about Foggy. Dude, how does Matt keep doing it, man? What's your secret, bro? Yeah, you guys, I really enjoyed this episode. This was a fun episode of the Daredevil series. I'll admit that I was kind of worried coming out of episode 2, like, okay, like, is there some stuff, is this still going to be a show that I really enjoy? I mean, so far I was enjoying it, and then I thought, okay, is it going to, hopefully it continues. And I tell you what, you guys, so far, it's a show that I've enjoyed. Just based off of what I've seen so far, I don't think it's on par with the original Daredevil series, but it is still damn good. And you know what? Pretty damn good is, I think, the best that I'm going to get in this current state of the MCU. So, you know what? Thumbs up for me. But let's hope that continues. I feel like Fisk had a very minimal role in this episode. I think like the only scenes that we had with him were him and Vanessa. And at this point, it just really feels like Vanessa's the one calling all the shots. I mean, good for her though, right? Like she went from being a art lady to now like being a freaking crime boss or whatever and making a crap ton of money. So I guess good for her. It'd be funny, right? If just take a scene from the Dark Knight Rises, you know, the one with like Ben Mendelsohn's character where he's speaking with Bane, right? And Bane's like, "Do you feel in charge? And this gives you power over me? We have to kill the Batman." Yeah, just do that like with Vanessa and Fisk, right? Because I remember saying originally last week, I thought like, oh, maybe Fisk is playing everybody. And he still might be. Like using Heather as a way to get to Matt. Because I thought, oh, okay, if Matt's done work researching Fisk again, then maybe Fisk has done the same, but I don't know. There's still a lot that's remained to be seen, but I will say, I think next week, you guys, just even if the Punisher wasn't the one who murdered White Tiger, which again, I don't think he was, but whether he is, whether he isn't, is kind of what my point is, I think we're going to see Punisher next week. I think next week is where we get him. Okay, let me think. Next week is episode 4, right? And then I think in 2 weeks' time is where we get another set of 2 episodes. So very curious to see what that's all about. But for now, you guys, that is going to wrap us up for today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, right? Like, who do you think killed White Tiger? Do you guys think that we're going to see Miles Morales show up in the MCU at some point? Do you want to see Miles Morales show up in the MCU at some point? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with others to help support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.
I'm glad you're here to tell us these things.